Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome. What's up, Nicer? How you doing? Hold up. Let me get my iced tea and something to munch. Welcome. I got too much. There we go. Too much Vaseline. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host. This is Q&A Sundays. Welcome. I'm going to wait about 3 minutes before we get started. Get my hair cut Tuesday. Wow, my stuff grows fast. Everybody used to think I was bald. I'm like, no, I'm not bald. I'm just gray. Been gray for many years. Just nobody ever seen it because I was shaving it bald. But then I did it so long, people thought I was bald. And when I told people I really had hair, they didn't believe me. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, let me wait a little while for everybody to get up in here. Give everybody plenty of notice. View on YouTube. A little while for everybody to get up in here. Give everybody. Welcome. We're going to get started in about another minute and a half. I usually start about 3 minutes. Give everybody a chance to get in here. What's going on here? Okay, it's C12. Close some of these windows. Jeez. Oh, let's see here. All right, we got about 1 more minute and then we are going to get started. What's up, Noble Mr. C? How you doing? All right, we got about 15. We're going to get started. If you guys in the background waiting, we're going to get started at minute number 3, which is in about 20 seconds. Don't worry, I got a friend working on my intro and other stuff like that. So when we're waiting these 3 minutes, I'm gonna have something playing or some music or something, man. So I don't have to keep reminding. So everybody just kind of get used to know that I'm gonna start in about 3 minutes or so. All right, time to get started. Hello, everyone. My name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see outside what I call the debt matrix. Just think of that square, think of a square box, all right? And think of the movie The Matrix, okay? This is called the debt matrix, all right? And the debt matrix is a place where everybody believes in credit and debt, believes in things going down, financing things that go down in value and still can't figure out why they're living paycheck to paycheck. This is where I lived for the first 40 years of my life, making $160,000 a year, computer engineer, college educated, all that stuff. It didn't mean anything really. When you're in the debt matrix, you believe job titles mean something, a person's salary means something, the way they dress means something, their house means something. You don't really understand that because the bank owns it all, right? Well, when I woke up, all I did to wake up was I applied the math that I learned in grade school to my finances, and then I won with money, finances and stuff like that. Everything changed, right? My whole financial life changed. So what I do I created this business, Savings Minus Debt, to help people discover the same financial type of freedom. So how I do that is I expose the glitches, what I call the glitches in the debt matrix. And the glitches in the debt matrix are things that don't make mathematical sense, yet people continue to do them. People continue to say these types of things out loud, things of that nature, like calling yourself a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage, financing a car for 84 months and believing you got it on, and then telling all your friends that you got it on sale. What else? You name it. Financing cell phones with matching watches, financing the watch and cell phone. Those are glitches in the debt matrix because none of those things make mathematical sense, right? If you excuse me, if you sat down and did the math, you would clearly see nobody gets a finance car on sale. No, you're not a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage. You never ever finance a phone and a watch at the same time and then tell everybody that you did. You just don't, right? You just wouldn't do that if you just did the math, okay? And those of you that are just crossing over or just wondering, the borrower is slave to the lender, because I know, and I want to make sure this is clear so people understand this. They always hear me, most people hear me use the word slave, and some people take offense to it. They're bothered by it. Hey, you're talking about your ancestors and all this other stuff. So I have to remind them of the statement. The borrower is slave to the lender. The borrower is slave to the lender. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows that statement, right? So if you borrow money from the bank is the lender and you are the slave. If you borrow money to finance a car, the bank is the lender, you are the slave. If you finance a cell phone, the bank is the lender and you are the slave. So when you hear me say slave, if you finance something, you're a slave. Okay. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. Don't matter if you take offense to it. It doesn't matter. Is it true? Yeah. Okay. Then there's no reason to get mad. But if you do, you got to remember this. Excuse me. Only slaves get mad at the word being called a slave, because when you're not a slave, when somebody says that, when somebody says slave, I know they're not talking to me because I'm not a slave. I don't owe anybody. The bank doesn't own me. You see what I'm saying? So that's how it works. All right. All right. So let's get started. Today is Q&A Sundays, right? So this is about you. I'm here to answer questions for free. Okay. Let me make sure I get this thing out here. Sorry, you guys. I always forget to do that. Here's the link if you want to come up and talk to me. And of course, I forgot my headphones. Sure did. I have everything. I always do that. If you want to come up and talk to me and ask me a question, we can do that. It's about you. You can ask in the comments. Maybe I'll answer. Other SMD family members can possibly answer your question, but I answer personal finance questions only. I don't talk about anything investing outside of yourself. I'm only here. I help people invest in themselves, not anything outside of themselves. Okay. I just want to make sure that's clear. All right. Noble C says, I own my house. And by the way, if you want your question to go straight to the top and answered, there's you can use the super chat, or here's my Cash App. The super chat's easier. That way you can just super chat, put your question, we'll go straight to your question. Okay. All right. Noble C says, I own my own house. I own my house, no car payment, but $15,000 in student loan. Hey, congratulations. 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 Mohammed says, I have a huge problem in saving money. Can you give me advice to solve this problem? You need a plan. You need a plan. That's why the reason why you can't save money, you need a plan. Okay. Because that's really a very broad question. James says, hold the line, LJ. I'm not sure what you mean by that, James. Hyphy says, Mohammed, if you have a huge problem saving money, you must not like having money. And those things you spend your money on are more important than having savings. Yeah, that's a very good way to put it, Hyphy. Very direct. And I want you guys to understand, too, if you come here to the SMD channel, we give you the answer straightforward. No feelings. Doesn't matter how you feel, because you got to remember, math doesn't care how anyone feels. 1 + 1 = 2. Math doesn't care how you feel about that. It doesn't care if you're sad about that it equals 2. It doesn't matter if you're even happy that 1 + 1 = 2. It doesn't care. It's just 2. That's the same thing with finances. So we're going to give it to you straight. I will always give it to you straight because I want you to win with money. I want you to be free. I want you to be able to walk around in this financial United States of America, the world, And nobody will be able to fool you in finances. Nobody. Nobody will be able to fool you. Nobody will be able to scam you. The banks won't rip you off if you think that. By the way, only slaves think the banks rip them off. Okay. Only slaves think like that. Okay. Radius compensation. What's going on, man? Automate your savings and investing. Set up an electronic fund transfer from a checking account into a brokerage account such as Vanguard, blah, 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 and have saved 10%. Okay. Demi Morrison says he needs a budget. He definitely needs a plan for sure. Tom Petty says, once it dawned on me, I returned it right after the return date, right before the return date. Oh, I must have skipped you. Okay. Morning, everybody. So I made the mistake of financing a new phone right after paying my old one off. Oh, man, you know better than that. Tom Petty, you know way better than that. We've already talked about that. But sometimes it's just, let me explain something to you guys, okay? The debt matrix is like, I equate it to heroin, cocaine, any top-notch drug, okay? If you've been doing it all your life, sometimes you fall back on the old habits. It really, that's, you know. What's up, NC? What's going on, man?
All right. So how you doing, LJ? Just hopped on to ask you a question, and this is a redundant question, but I have to ask it again. I went on the site, I forget the site that you use for your cell phone plan. I went on there and I was trying to figure out exactly which SIM card I should use, because I have AT&T, but I didn't get this phone from AT&T. I got it from online, so I don't know if that makes a difference or whatever. But
well, as long as the phone is unlocked, means that you can bring it to any carrier.
So does it matter what SIM card I get? Like,
it counts on that. This is what you choose. Do you believe Verizon's best in your area? Do you believe AT&T is best in your area?
I see what you're saying now. So I grab it based on which is the best in the area
where you're home. So like,
got you.
Yeah, if AT&T is the best near your house, because that's where you're going to be the most, you want AT&T.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, that's my biggest question on that, because I was trying to figure out that, because I showed you the link to that to what the AT&T is doing, and do they take flip phones? Does that company take flip phones, as far as you know?
I don't know. Once you put in your SSID number or what? No, the
Got you. I know exactly.
IME, whatever. You know that number, right? Mm-hmm. Once you put that number in, it'll tell you if your phone's compatible with their service.
Got you. Because I think if I give my grandmother that phone plan and I pay that'd be like maybe $100 a year or something like that, because her phone plan that'd be cheap as crap if if they accept flip phones, But I'll have to look into that one, because I really want to get off of AT&T and get away from that. We had talked about it previously, and I didn't like Cricket because their price for their phone plan was about what I'm paying now.
Well, you can stick, if you like AT&T service, you can stick with AT&T and service.
Oh no, I understand that. The concept of the service is. I was more concerned about how to get away from their being on the actual being with the company, paying them what I'm paying them, and they like I said, they're about to make everybody buy new phones that will go with them, that want to stay with AT&T. I personally don't care. I can leave anytime, so I just need to get away. So I'm just trying to get that information about the SIM cards, because I was trying to figure that part out.
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah.
Well, that was my biggest question because I need to get away from them before they cut our phones off and do some old buy new phone deal type method.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
dealing
don't.
with
I
that.
don't think that's not happening anytime soon. Anyway, it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Oh, okay. Well, I still don't want to
Yeah.
be there when they even try it.
You want to be ready, huh?
Yeah, I'm be gone.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, man. That's our biggest question.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for jumping on, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Great question, NC Biggs. I get that question a lot because and I know it's confusing for people to when they switch services to the cheaper service. But if you guys are thinking about switching to a cheaper service like that, you must own your phone first. Your phone you cannot be making payments on your phone. Okay, cannot. Needs to know. Okay, he needs to know where he spent his money. Okay, right. What's up, Ill Wills? Tom Petty says, I wasn't laughing. Did you not see the emoji I used? No, I didn't. Did I see? Oh, you guys must be talking amongst each other. Okay. Let's see. James Salmon says, I need my appraisal to be higher beside the kitchen and the bathrooms. What can I do to make property appraised for more? That's a question for Cosmic. Or anybody that might know something about that kind of stuff. I have no idea. Joseph says phones paid off, no more leasing phones or anything. Cash rules for sure. Mohammed says, what is your opinion on Bitcoin? Put it this way, Mohammed, okay? Because I see things totally different than what people in the debt matrix see. So if anybody came up to me talking to me about Bitcoin, the first question I'm going to ask them is to see their personal credit report. Their personal credit report, all three of them, by the way, their personal credit report will tell me why they're investing why they are investing in Bitcoin. So if they have collections, that will tell me why they're investing in Bitcoin. If they have if they have student loans older than their children, that is why they're investing in Bitcoin. If they have a FHA mortgage, that is why they're investing in Bitcoin. If they have car payments, that's why they're investing in Bitcoin. Okay. But if I come across somebody that has zero debt and investing in Bitcoin, that's something different. Okay. That's not the same. Okay. Money, put it this way, Muhammad. For slaves, for people in debt, money in any form, Bitcoin, gold, silver, dollars, euro, pesos, none of that money exists for people in debt. Money in any form doesn't even exist for people in debt. So when they switch they think they're doing something over here with Bitcoin. No, it's not. That doesn't exist. The paper in their hand doesn't exist. The change in their drawer or in their Coke bottles or their 2-liter bottles, none of that money exists. The money under their mattress, that doesn't exist. None of it exists. Okay. He walked the path of Herbert. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Ill Will says they send you a SIM card. Most companies, they will send you a SIM card. Most companies, like the LJ said, make sure your phone is unlocked. They have compatibility. Damn, what is up with my words today? Compatibility list for phones. All right, Stephen says people can't save money because they spend on with emotion, not to need. Okay. They sit down being complacent and bored and think about nothing more than spending and make purchases to get that high. Exactly, for sure. Today is Q&A Sundays. We're only going to go as long as you guys ask questions, okay? As long as you guys ask questions. Ill Will says, I'm listening outside washing the SUV. Ill Will says this, I'm going to use the orbiter to polish and wax. As you know, there is a difference. I've never used one of those before. I'm gonna take it to a shop. I don't even want to do it really, but I'm gonna take it to a shop and get that done. What's up, Nicer? Yellow J says Bitcoin is highly volatile. If you have a positive SMD and you are not investing with negative dollars, then treat it the same as a venture capital investing. Prepare that you could lose it all. It's just gambling. It's just another form of gambling. And people that invest in Bitcoin while they're in the negative, they have no idea that they're doing nothing at all. They're not even doing anything. And then those same people are giving advice to other slaves. Slaves giving each other advice. When all you got to do, slave, this is all you got to do. Anybody telling you to invest, you say, what do you want me to invest in? Do you have student loans? Yeah? Then you stop listening to them. Hey, invest in Bitcoin. You turn around and say, is that a finance cell phone? If they say yes, you stop listening to them. Don't listen to it. I don't care what they're saying. Bitcoin, you can't say to a slave, you can't say, hey man, you know Bitcoin doesn't even exist for you, right? That's imaginary. You know the money in your pocket doesn't even exist. They won't even hear you. Thank you, Nicer. Tom Petty says, LJ, I'm glad you're live today. I was going to get a new TV. However, I knew exactly what you would say considering I have one item left in collections. Yeah. Hey, Tom, it's like, you know what? Honestly, man, I just don't, and I'm not saying anything negative about you. I just want you guys to understand how powerful the debt matrix is. It's powerful. It's crazy that even comes into your mind, because the thought of financing a cell phone or a TV in my brain, or buying a TV when I have, because it's not there. Because put it this way, Tom, if you went and bought that TV with cash while you had collections, you financed it. Let me say that one more time. If you went and bought that TV with cash and you had collections, you financed that cell phone. I mean, you financed that TV. You financed it. Why? Because you're in the negative. That's impossible to buy a TV with negative dollars. So you have to finance that TV. See what I'm saying? I don't know. Tom, it doesn't do that. I'm not sure. Like it says, Tom Petty accidentally financed the cell phones about to purchase big screen. Do you see a trend? Yeah, and I hope you're just, I don't know, whatever. I'm not right, Yellow J. I thought about that. It crossed my mind, but it's just weird to me. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? If you want a consultation, just shoot me an email. Okay. Consultations, we'll set up an appointment. I can send you an invoice if you want a consultation. There you go. If he ain't, he needs a consultation with LJ. That is true, Tom. That is true. But I think Tom and I have already spoken. Lord says, for people who are not in debt and is trying to invest, should they invest in all tech companies? That I don't know. Anybody have some advice for Lord? What's up, Wayman Brown? What's going on? Today is Q&A Sundays. Okay. Today we're going to go as long as there are questions. Okay, by you guys. If you want to come up, you can. You can come on the show. You don't have to get on camera. You can ask me questions. You can ask other SMD family member questions. You can ask anything you want. Get it while it's free, because like I said, consultations are no longer free. Okay, no longer free. What's up, E-Man? E-Man for the super chat. Thank you, sir. Good morning. How you doing, sir? Glad you were able to show up. Much appreciated. Any questions? Today is about you guys. Any questions of me? If you got investment questions, other SMD family members in here can answer those questions. Real estate. If you want some direct answers, and maybe I'm too nice, you speak to Hyphy. Okay, go to Hyphy, just at Hyphy, and he will give you a very direct answer. Okay. But you got to remove your feelings. Okay. You can't be hurt. You can't be crying. You can't say, oh my God, I'm not a slave. You can't be, hey, that has nothing. You got to say, am I a slave? If my finances are in the negative, I'm a slave. I remember that, Tom. I do. LJ and I chatted a while ago. He's the reason I can even have the thought of getting those items, because I paid off almost all my debts. But what you're doing, Tom, is that you paid it off, but you're considering about going back. That's the part. That's the part that is confusing. Okay. That is the confusion. But I also want you to understand something too, Tom. I want you to understand how powerful it is. You know, you're not the only one. Okay. You're not the only one that has considered it, thinking about doing it, whatever, especially a cell phone, man. What's up, Amina? Hello. Today is Q&A Sundays. It's about you guys. Come on. Questions. Don't forget tomorrow, 10 a.m. Okay, 10 a.m. tomorrow. I am Ramil invited me to his show. Let me get his URL. He invited me to his show to do a collaboration. I'm sure it's going to be me, him, and some other people on the panel. But Ramil's another brother I like. He's an alien like the SMD family. He's a hardcore alien. Okay, hardcore alien. I just like the way I like the way he speaks his mind, man. I appreciate him. Pretty cool dude. There is his channel, just in case if you guys want to go over there and subscribe so you can get the notifications when we go, just in case you forget. Tomorrow 10 a.m. I'm going on the show, going on his channel tomorrow. What's up, Antone? Tom says, yeah, my wording was poor, but I'm never going back. The car dealership has been trying to get me to refinance my car or trade it in, but I'm not doing it. Yeah, they're doing that to millions of people, Tom. Millions. All right. They're doing that. They're doing that so what they want to do to save themselves, this is what they're doing. They're trying to get you to come in and refinance that whole balance that you're probably behind months and months and months. They're probably offering you to refinance. So they want you to refinance all those past payments, all that interest into a new loan. Then they're going to spread it out, and then it's going to look like smaller payments. And then the slaves will believe that they're saving money. Like they'll spread it out. So like they have 5 years left. They'll refinance it into 10 years, and then your monthly payments are smaller. And now the slave in their brain believes that they're now saving money because their car payment is less $100 or $200 a month. I get it. It's brilliant, honestly. What's up, Andre? What's going on, man? Andre says, first, let's qualify the terms. Invest means you receive income from your transaction. I bet if you asked 100 people, 2% or less would have preferred share. Like Cosmic says, there are levels to this, okay? Dividend versus capital gains. All right, now, if you're in the background listening and you're listening to what Cosmic's saying, what Andre's saying, if you are in debt, you'll never understand what they're talking about ever. You can't. It will be mathematically impossible for you to ever understand what they're saying. You can't. That's impossible. You can't. Don't try. It'll never make sense, because if you were in debt, if the business of you, savings minus debt equals the business of you. If you add up all your savings, add up all your debt, savings minus debt, and that number is a large negative number, the business of you is not in business. They are talking about things outside of you. So if the business of you is not in business, that's impossible for you to do anything outside of you. That's mathematically impossible. Don't do it. If the business of you is not, add up all your savings, add up all your debt, the business of you is in the negative, don't invest in Bitcoin. You can't. That's mathematically impossible to invest negative dollars in anything outside of you. That's impossible. You can't. That's impossible. But if you believe you can, the bank will sell you an option. Oh, pretty much like this. Oh, hey, bank, I don't believe in mathematics. The bank says, oh, okay, we have a solution for that. What's that? A loan. Brittany says, the car dealership got my brother recently. He went in for an oil change and got a new car. I couldn't even say congratulations. You can't. That's hard, Brittany. Hey, Brittany, what did I say before? Debt is the colorblind slave master. It doesn't care if it's your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your cousin. It doesn't care because all it sees is green. And when you see your loved ones, volunteering for slavery. Now, I know you slaves are confused when I say things like that. When you walk on a lot and you sign up for an 84-month car loan, you're asking to be a slave for 84 months. If your student loans are older than your children, you've been a slave for the last 18 to 20 years. And I guarantee you this, if you've had student loans that are older than your children, I guarantee you have other debts, because only people in debt would ever keep a student loan for 20 years. Andre says, if you are counting on an increase in share value, you are speculating. E-Man says he did the oil change. The car with the car. Andre says, I currently receive income on my crypto, turning it in from speculation to investment. Again, slaves, don't say, hey, LJ, Andre's doing it. Don't go by that. You cannot hear what he's saying. You are a slave. That means you are in the negative. You cannot mathematically comprehend what he's saying. Not saying this information is wrong. It will be wrong for you. Any questions? Oops, not that link. Sorry, guys. Copy. So if you want to come up here, ask me a question. There's the link, the second link I just posted. There's the second link. Thank you, Hyphy, for throwing up the Discord server. Today is Q&A Sundays. It's about you guys. It's about you guys today. Put it this way. Not only will I help change your life forever, this is a generational change, okay? You'll change, your life will change, and you will change the lives of your children, those that will listen, your family members that will listen, because not everybody's going to listen. You know why? Because there must be slaves. In order for this economy to work, the majority must be slaves. Now you're thinking, am I a slave? Do you believe you're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage? Yeah, you're a slave. Do you believe you're going to pay off a 30-year mortgage with a 20-year-old student loan? You're a slave. Only a slave would believe that. Only slaves have student loans older than their house. Only slaves have student loans older than their car. Oh, boy. Hold on for a second, you guys. My truck alarm's going off. 1 second here. I got to turn it off. 1 second. I hear it. One second, you guys. I had to turn this car alarm off. I don't know why it's doing that. 1 second. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. All right. I'm back. I'll be here as well. You must be talking to somebody else. Okay. Any questions? Any questions of me? Any questions of any family members? Personal finance questions? Any questions of my past videos? Put it, not only I was about to say something too. Not only will your financial life change, your personal life will change too. Okay, your whole attitude, your whole self-confidence, your whole dating life, because you'll never take anybody serious that's in debt. So I'm gonna save you a lot of heartache because you will never take anybody serious. You will definitely not marry anybody in debt. That will never happen. Okay, you put it this way: you won't even come close. You won't even come close to marrying somebody in debt. You won't even come close to that. Andre says the power of combined family effort to unimaginable problem is okay. The power of a combined family effort is unimaginable problem is getting more than two people to agree on anything when they're in debt. Yeah, that's a definite problem. Unimaginable problem. Okay, got it. Thank you, Hyphy. Any questions? I know there's a lot of people in the background. Don't be shy. You can come up. You don't have to get on camera. I'm gonna keep these Q&A Sundays happening, man. But if you guys are not asking questions, there's really no point to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been doing it for a while, but we just won't go. I tell you what, we just won't go as long. I'll keep having them, but we'll just end them in like an hour or 30 minutes or whatever. Like we're 37 minutes in. So if we get to an hour, we're just going to go ahead and cut it off. And don't forget, tomorrow I'll be on Ramil's show tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. 10 a.m. Eastern time. So I suggest you go subscribe to his channel if you want to, or just remind yourself. Any questions? Any questions? Any people out there have some personal finance questions? Any personal finance questions? Let me go over here and see if there's anything happening. If not, we're going to go ahead and cut it off. Okay. All right. All right. Well, this was a good Q&A Sunday. Appreciate you all. Thank you for those that popped in a couple of questions and asked some things. I see a question popping up slowly, but it takes a while to populate in the software. I wonder if things are just going slow. I'll go over here and read it because I see the question via the, okay. Evan says, do you recommend that people pay certain bills by the year? I recommend that you pay every bill by a year. Every bill that you can, pay it by the year. There's always a deal when you pay by the year with everything. Rent, if you can get away with paying your rent for a year, and anything else, any type of service, like my phone service, I pay by the year, so it's the cheapest. Okay. Thank you. Nicer. Should I co-sign on this car, LJ, for my friend? Yes, Cosmic. This is what I suggest you do, Cosmic. Sell the rehab house and buy a car. Okay. Take the money out of the rehab house, sell it, and then invest in the car. Okay. That's funny. NC Big says, do you pay your light and water? No, I can't. No, they don't give you no deals to, not that I know of personally. I don't get any, you don't really get any deals from trying to pay your, because they don't know how much you're going to use of electricity over the month. Like, what if it's really high in the month of August or something, and I do something, you know what I'm saying? I don't really know how they could calculate that. Well, I'm not joking, Cosmic. Sell your house and invest in a car. You're going to triple. No, you're going to quadruple your money, Cosmic. Laura says, did you say that if someone was in debt, but to buy a car and pay it in full, they are just, yes. Okay. Yeah. If you're in debt and you buy a car in cash, you're basically financing because you're in a negative, right? Put it this way, Laura, I'm gonna make it better understand, right? Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have for a car in cash, how much cash you have for a car. If you're in the negative, you have no money to buy a car. So if you want to go buy a car, you must borrow the money to buy that car. Okay. Uncle says, why is it better to pay bills by the year instead of monthly? Because you always get a deal when you pay by the year. Okay. Because slaves they don't have any money, so they don't have the money. Slaves, or put it this way, slaves have the monthly mentality, right? Month to month. That's just their mentality. Paycheck to paycheck, bills paid month to month. Paying something in a whole year is unfathomable for slaves. They don't even think about that. There is no way they can do that. They'll turn to you and say, what do you think, I'm rich? Or, they just say things like that, right? So always pay by the year. Anything you pay your insurance every 6 months to a year, if they let you. My insurance company don't allow me to pay by the year. If they did, I would do that, but they allow me to pay every 6 months. So Marcus says, no student loan debt. Tired of renting. What is the number one mortgage to get too poor to buy all cash? Walk into the bank and ask them, hey, which one's the number one mortgage that you have here? And then go to the three biggest banks that you know of and go, which one's the best mortgage that you have to offer here? And then they'll tell you. That's it. It's not really that difficult. They will tell you. So, and first, Marcus, you got to do this too. Okay. I know you say you don't have any student loan debt, but do you have any other debt? Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have for a house. If that's in the negative, you have no other option but to rent because you have no money for a house. So your only option is to rent, because a lot of people in debt, slaves, they believe they have the option of buying or renting. They don't. That's a belief. Slaves have no idea renting versus buying. That's not even an option for them. Okay. Oh, excuse me. The borrower is slave to the lender. Never forget that. The borrower is slave to the lender. Evan Ames says, is it better to get a mortgage from a bank or a credit union, and why? I don't know that answer. Cosmic, Andre, maybe you guys have an answer for that? That I don't know. Leroy says, would you recommend someone work 2 jobs temporarily to reach a short-term financial goal? I wouldn't be doing it, but I'm just asking. Put it this way. If I was in debt and I had the free time to work 2 jobs that would get me faster out of debt, I would do it. Anything to get my slave papers faster, I would do it. And trust me, once you realize and accept that you're a slave, if not you, Leroy, but you're a slave, when you're in debt, you're a slave. Once you really recognize that and say, damn, I am a slave, you will do anything quickly to get out of debt. I promise you. Nicer says, I'm not fluent in Lakota, but I know what Susu means, and I'm sitting here cracking up at hyphy and cosmic. See, I don't even know what that means. Did I just cuss? I don't know. Any questions? Any more questions? Any more questions? All right, we're 46 minutes in. Okay, I'm gonna go for another 14 minutes. If there's more questions, then we're gonna cut this off in an hour. Leroy says, my unemployment ran out and now I got to go back to work. Oh, well, so be it. Yeah, don't worry, Leroy. There's going to be a lot of people that if they, I don't know if they're going to extend it. They got to extend it. Okay. Evan Ames says, every state has down payment assistance program. Is it a good idea to use these? If you need down payment assistance, that means you have no money. So no. No. First of all, if you need for a mortgage, if you need a mortgage, that means you have no money. If you need a mortgage to get a house, that means you have no money. Okay. If you need down payment assistance, that means you don't even have the down payment. The answer is no. You're not ready for a house. If you ever need down payment assistance, you got to make sure you look at it. Everything has an opposite. Instead of saying, I need down payment assistance, you ask yourself, why do I need down payment assistance? Why? Why do I need down payment assistance? Okay. Andre says, in the West Indies, Susu is a big deal. Ties community together, works on credit rating system. I don't recommend it though. Uncle says, is there a good reason to have more than $1,000 in savings if you have a lot of debt? No. If you're in debt, that's $1,000 emergency savings is a rule that I used when I was getting out of debt from Dave Ramsey. And Dave Ramsey, if it wasn't for Dave Ramsey, I wouldn't be here in front of you guys today because I didn't know I was in debt. I didn't know I was in debt. Slaves don't really know their put it this way. Slaves have a pattern, okay? And if you've been in debt all your life, I want you guys to listen very closely to this, okay? Slaves have a pattern. You're probably thinking, what is your pattern? What is the pattern? The pattern is you guys don't believe in mathematics. And you don't even know you don't believe in mathematics. You don't even know you don't. That's your pattern. Everything you guys say makes absolutely no mathematical sense. Nothing ever. Nothing in your whole financial life makes mathematical sense. None of it. The pattern is everything in your life is a mathematical illusion and you don't even know it. If you're making car payments, it's not your car. If you have a mortgage, it's not your house. If you need credit cards to buy your clothes, gas, and all, that's none of it. All of that is borrowed money. You're borrowing it all to live. That's an illusion. That's your pattern. Say here, let me give you another example. When you cheat on your taxes, taxes are just math. That's just it's math. Here's the rules. Go to the IRS website. Hey, these are the rules. You're trying to do what? Okay, these are the rules for that, whatever you're trying to do, business, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Here's the rules, and the rules are mathematics. If you're in debt and you try to cheat on taxes, you're obvious because none of your stuff will make mathematical sense. So it's obvious to come to you because you won't even have the answers. You don't even know what you're doing wrong. So what you guys do, instead of realizing that it's math that you don't really get, you guys start doing other things thinking it's going to change the original equation, which is not. You cannot get around math ever. You can't. But you guys still try, and that's your pattern. Okay? All right, where we at? Leroy says, how do I get over the fear of losing money when I start a business? Fear is because you're looking at fear wrong, Leroy. Fear is not to be feared. Fear says, hey, I'm here for a reason. I'm not going away. Every time you come back, I'm going to be here, because you need to see what's on the other side of fear, because it's heaven on the other. It's something way better on the other side of fear. For example, let me give you an example, Leroy. Before I actually quit my job, there was a gigantic Godzilla fear. The fear was size of Godzilla. I was terrified, right? And then I had to weigh all my options. Wait a minute, I'm not in debt, so I have nothing to fear. So I said, I'm going to do it anyway. And then I got on the other side of fear, and voila, here it is. It's beautiful. It's always sunny. It never rains. It's always lovely over here. Don't fear fear. The majority of people, especially the slaves, they want you to fear when it's not meant to be feared. It's a signal. It's a light for you guys to go towards. You go towards fear. Fear is saying, hey, come to me this way. No, not that way. Don't follow him. Don't follow her. You come this way. Once you get on the other side of fear, and then you'll be free. Okay. Laura says, if you was in debt, would you be allowed to still move to another country? If you was in debt, would you be allowed to still move to another country, or would you need to clear your debt first? That I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I heard a lot of people are leaving the country to run from the debt. Those are slaves. Slaves run from their debt. Okay, that's slaves. Don't follow slaves. Leroy says, LJ, what's your opinion on the 401k plan? I think it's a bunch of baloney, honestly, but you're wrong. Put it this way. 401k as an employee, okay, put it this way. As an employee, the 401k will help prepare you for business, to understand taxes, because the real purpose of 401k, you get an instant savings every year. You save on taxes. Yes, it's like double dipping. You get to put money away for retirement, and you save money on taxes every single year. That's the real. But if you're in debt, you can't. Okay. What's up, Johnny Blaze? What's going on?
Hey, not too much. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Welcome back.
Okay.
I haven't heard from you in a while. How you been doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Hey, I just wanted to tell a small story. I'm trying to keep it condensed, but I went to hang out with my girlfriend, one of her friends, yesterday, and we were at one of those RV parks. So I guess her friend bought into this park, but come to find out, when you buy the property, you still have to pay an annual fee of $6,000 every year on top of buying it. So like literally you're renting the RV location, even though you can't move this thing, it's physically there. So I
wonder if that's on top of, if they don't own the property, I guess that would probably cover their taxes of being there, maybe.
That's what it sounds like. Now, here's another catch.
Huh?
On top of this, here's another catch. On top of this, you can only go there specific months throughout the year.
Oh, it's not year round.
No, it's open year round, but so during the summer months, you can come and go as you please. During the non-summer months, you got to schedule time. So you can only be there, let's say, between 9 in the morning to 8 at night. Then the park closes.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, it counts on what you're trying. If that's a vacation spot, but where is this place at? It's summer.
It's
summer place.
Yeah, it's a summer place. It's out here in Virginia. But I just found that this woman, she spent $40,000 to buy the place. Then you got to pay $6,000 every year on top of that. Now she's talking about trying. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and now she's talking about she wants to get a Porsche. Like, okay.
Okay. First of all, the main question. Forget the 6,000. How did she buy the place? A mortgage?
She spent cash, but here's the catch. She actually took money from her 401k. She had a little bit of in savings.
So she didn't have the money.
She didn't have the money.
She didn't have the money. Okay. She didn't have the money. Wow. No. Okay. Well, you know what? People just do what they do. And I'm assuming that's not her main home.
No.
Oh God. Oh yeah. She's woof.
Still paying on that.
Oh God. Oh, she got 2 mortgages.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like. Okay, like you the stuff that you have is finance, and I'm trying to explain to her, hey, look, you're in your early 50s, late 40s, somewhere right around there. I don't know her all that well, but I'm like, look, you're spreading your money too thin. And of course, the other people there, I'm trying to explain the same thing to them. Hey, look, the ideal situation, if you're going to buy a piece of land like this, and then you rent, then you put these things on there, and you're the person who owns this piece of property. There's the ideal solution. But the guy who owns this, he or she is making a killing.
Yeah, the $6,000 of yearly property, whatever. That's not even the problem. She got 2 mortgages now. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And a 401k loan.
Now, here's the part that makes it even worse. She bought this thing back in May. It needs a ton of repairs. AC's is not working completely. The hot water heater shot.
I feel sorry for people like that, man.
Man.
I mean, they don't know, because I put it this way: if she knew, she wouldn't have did it. That's if she mathematically understood.
Yeah,
she wouldn't have did that.
I'm beginning to wonder sometimes, like, and I listen to you and Dave Ramsey, and I just think people have a hard time, and you said it, it's the feelings. They cannot seem to separate what's logically right from this fantasy of what I have to have right now.
It's the American dream.
Yeah.
You got to be asleep, though. They don't realize. They're telling you out in the open, the American dream. Slaves don't stop to think, wait a minute, don't you got to be asleep to dream? Yeah. You got to be asleep. Are you asleep? No, mortgage is fine. Everybody has them. Okay, you're asleep.
Yeah. So, and as I'm speaking to the folks, and I'm, they're looking at the Tesla, I'm like, oh, this is paid off, and their eyes get all big, like, how? I'm like, what do you mean how? I didn't buy a lot of other junk.
What's so funny? I think about that too. I put up a meme. I said people financing Teslas believe they're saving money on gas, right? And people still didn't understand. What are you talking about? It's full. It's 100% electric. Never mind. I ain't explaining it to you. Only people that own a Tesla are saving money on gas. Not people who finance Teslas.
That's it.
Now tell me this, Johnny. How does that even come up to say I have a paid off Tesla? I'm curious.
Well, in that conversation, it came up because they were talking about some guy in the neighborhood who drove a Jaguar, and I asked, well, is it paid for? Is it financed?
Oh,
and they had no clue. I was like, okay, well, I said, so the guy kept commenting on my car. I said, well, mine is paid for. And that's when his eyes got all like, how did you do this?
Wow.
Yeah. So
there's only one way. What do you mean? How did I do this? There's only one way to do it.
And actually, I got the idea from you. Because
What?
something that you said a while back, you were talking about financing versus owning things.
Mhm.
So usually now when conversations come up, I'll ask, like, hey, is that financed? And of course they'll look at me like, well, yeah, duh.
Yeah, duh. And when you see that face, what do you do? What do you say?
I was like, well, that's not financed. That's paid for. All right. What? That's not possible.
He's
Yeah, it kind
rich.
of sort of is.
You're rich. You must be rich.
And this is the weird thing. It's like the folks who seem to have all the stuff, they assume they're rich. And that's when I made the comment, well, is his stuff paid for or is it financed? Because
Right.
if it's financed, he's not really rich. He may make a lot of money,
Right.
but look at the distribution.
Yeah. Right. Do they think you're an a-hole for saying stuff like that? They look at
Uh,
give you that, do they give you an
you know,
a-hole
I
look?
no, I think they were more in a amazement, and even if they did, I really don't care because
That's not my problem. That's
yeah,
your problem.
yeah. Because I'll be most of my close personal friends, a lot of them really own most of their stuff, and if they don't, they're like me. They're at least paying for a house. Their cars are paid for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And usually you usually navigate to friends like that because when you're out of debt, you can't hang around people in debt because all they do is talk about debt and they want you to
yeah,
participate with them. And that would drive me crazy. I couldn't do it.
it's almost like when you mention things about like about the debt, how to pay things off. It's like this foreign concept. It's like they're eating bad food, but yet, okay, I got this good food over here. Here you go, eat some. That just don't taste right. That's
Right.
it.
I'm used to this. And I never heard of that. Not many people are eating that. No, thank you. I get
Yeah.
it. But
Or the other thing is,
you know as well as I know, it must be like that. There must be more slaves for us to live free. It has to be that.
oh, absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
It
Or
has to be.
they will rationalize being in a position. They will find a way to rationalize being broke.
Correct.
Having buying things that they don't need.
Mm-hmm.
The other day I was in a store and I was looking at buying a Microsoft Surface tablet.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, my little voice kicked in and said, "Do you need this?"
Oh.
And I had to like, you know what? I don't need it. So why are we here?
You wasn't saying that out loud, right? They would have took you away in a straitjacket or something. You was saying it in your
No,
mind,
no,
right?
no. But
I
you know
would
what?
walk down
That's
the aisle
yeah.
to you having a conversation. Do I need this? No, you don't.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Problem on aisle
But
12. Problem
yeah,
on aisle 12.
yeah, come get him. But so I saved myself like $600. Like, you know what? I don't need this thing, man. I'm like,
You know what? Just the other day, too, I was on social media, and what slaves don't really understand what they do. When somebody throws up on somebody said, "Oh man, I'm broke," or something to that effect, right? You know how many other people, other slaves jumped in and they was all comparing their brokenness. Oh, that ain't nothing, man. I'm broke, man, and this and that. And my bill is this, and my power bill is this much, and my phone bill is. I mean, comparing debt, just comparing with each other. It just didn't even make any sense. I was like, what? They don't
but
even
see,
know.
I've noticed something. Being broke now seems to be like a popular thing. It's like you may not have much, but there are other things that are going on now. And I'm like,
Right.
I look at money like an amplifier. If you're a bad person, you're gonna do bad things. You're a good person,
Yeah.
you're gonna do good things. So
Vibration.
yeah, that's how I really see it.
That's how it is too. That's how,
Yeah.
and that's how it really is too, John. It really is. You just since I've changed my life, man, it's just I vibrate on a different level. I attract the right people. I attract the right money. I just attract positivity, because that's what I'm putting out, and so I attract it. That's exactly what it is, man.
You know, and you can have nice stuff, and there's a way of doing it. I mean, like right now, I'm looking at this auction site. They had a house in my neighborhood that was up for auction, but they were also auctioning off all of the property inside the home.
Mm.
So I mean, you know, if you want to go get some things, you know, be smart
Yeah.
with it. Go do stuff like this. There are plenty of government auction sites. They're doing land of all things. You know, you
Oh
can
yeah.
buy old used government equipment. So
Mm. Mm. Yeah. Oh
make
yeah.
that money work for you.
There's gonna be some fire sales. And if you ain't got
Oh
no debt,
man,
you got some cash. It's gonna be Christmas for
yeah.
the next 5 years.
Hey, I'm waiting, man. I'm waiting.
Hey, it's coming. It's coming. Just be patient. It's coming.
Yeah. Okay. But that's all I really had, man. Just wanted to hop on real quick and tell that
All
little
right.
story as of yesterday.
Appreciate it, Johnny. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
it's like buying timeshares. You got to be careful. They
Yeah.
got me on that one. But
Back in the day.
yeah,
Yeah, I've heard stories about timeshares.
yeah. So,
All right, sir.
all right.
Appreciate you,
Thank
man.
you. Take care.
Let's see here. Eric says that debt isn't even to live; it's to feel accomplished. Yeah, I agree with that. People believe that they stuff makes them into something. Yellow J says I keep $1,000 emergency fund in cash, and then as I pay down debt, I keep a buffer of money earmarked for debt. Then when the next paycheck comes in, I rebuild buffer and pay the debt. LJ is discovering all kind of new things along this. I mean, right now, I know it's hard to say, but you really don't get it if you're in debt. But he's taking advantage of the things that are being allowed today to pay off debt even faster. But I'm not going to get into that. We only talk about stuff like that in members only. I'm not even going to attempt it. All right, Amina says, what is the best way to utilize your 401k? When you say utilize, what do you mean, Amina? What do you mean by that? Utilize. Right now, the best way to utilize it, you must be debt free. You cannot utilize a 401k unless you're debt free. If you're in debt, it's nothing. It means nothing. It does nothing for you. Nothing. Okay. Thank you, Nicer. Wow, you guys are all right. JP. Do you buy a house or keep renting? Are you asking me a question or is that a question in general? If it's in general, you go savings, add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have for a house. If that's in the negative, you have no choice but to rent. Your only option is to rent. Okay. Eric says, run tests through cheap online social media advertising before investing fully. Difference. Evan says, in your opinion, what is the best medical insurance, PPO or HSA? I don't know what PPO is. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what PPO. HSA is the best way to, if you're debt free, HSA is one of the best ways to go. You get to it's like double dipping. You get to take money off your taxes and you get to pay out of pocket medical expenses with 100% of your dollar. Meaning you get to pay your out of pocket medical expenses tax free. Okay, tax free. He said timeshare. I'm not sure what's up, Atticus. Okay, you guys must be saying something amongst yourselves. What's up, Dave Bourne? Sounds like a modiver. Okay, you guys talking about timeshare stuff. All right, I'm gonna let you guys chit chat about that. That must be talking about what Johnny and I would. Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, that does sound like a timeshare. Cosmic says, I'd rather buy a property myself as a vacation home and rent it out when I don't use it and have control of the property that way if I was to go that route, for sure. What's up, Dave Sincere? Black Route says, had the same thing with buying a new phone. Dead Olympics. I know, right? I like that. Dead Olympics. And this Olympics is year round and it's worldwide. This is the worldwide Dead Olympics, worldwide. And they're all, check it out, all the slaves are fighting to win. All of them are fighting to win. What are they racing? All of them are racing to get the best credit score. No, they don't realize there is no end. It just goes on forever. Dave says, it feels good for slaves to compare debt. I used to be there. I know, right? Comparing debt. Oh, goodness. That is the worst. Broke. Let's see here. Dave says, one of my best friends from high school called me yesterday to wish me happy birthday. My birthday was June 25th and not July 25th. But nevertheless, I was happy to hear from him anyway. We started talking about PPP, EIDL, and government grants. He was talking about how some of his friends and family were getting $15,000 to $20,000 government loans and going on trips across the country and shopping sprees. And I want you guys to know this as I read this. They know you're going to do that, slaves. They know you're not going to, they already know that you're not going to use the money for what it's for. And then when you do that, guess what? You are trapped. You are a slave for whatever it's in those terms, whatever you sign for in those terms, you're a slave. Dave said, I just shook my head and laughed. It's just, to hear that, man, it just blows my mind. It really does. It just blows my mind. I'm telling you, slaves, if you take that money and you use it for what it's not intended for, you are a slave. It's now. Don't make it seem like it's something different than student loans. When you go get a student loan and you don't use that money for what it's for, that's called fraud. That's called fraud. If you take that money and don't use it, what it says in the paperwork for all the rules, they probably got a million of them in there, right? You don't read it. You're just so focused in on that money. You just sign on the dotted line and say, give me that money. If you don't use what it's for, it's called fraud, slave. Slaves commit fraud. They are the only ones that will risk the time in their life for money. Only them. Because you guys are going to be paying back more for so say like you got a loan for, let's say $20,000, and then you use it for something other than what it was the purpose of it for. Now you're going to be paying back even more than $20,000 for years. For years, man. When you guys hear me talk like that, I really, honestly, I feel bad for slaves. I do. I really do. Because you guys, listen, your pattern is so bad. It's so bad. Listen, I always like to go back on taxes so you slaves can understand what that means. Tax evasion, you can go to prison. Prison. You didn't kill anybody. You didn't burn somebody's house down. You didn't steal somebody's car. You cheated on taxes. You can go to prison. Why don't you take a step back and say, why do I go to prison and I didn't even hurt anybody? Because you're a slave. That's why you don't understand. Why don't you just sit back and say, why can I go to prison for a victimless crime? Why? There's a reason. You got to get out of debt to see it. And I'm going to tell you, slaves, so you guys can understand. It's the backbone of our whole economy. That's why you can go to prison for it. It's the backbone. If it didn't exist, slaves wouldn't participate. If they wasn't forced to participate in the system, slaves wouldn't participate. How do I know this? Because they already blame taxes for their demise right now in their finances. They believe taxes are the very reason why they're slaves. That's not true. That's not true. Only slaves believe that. And then when you guys cheat on your taxes, what you guys don't understand, nothing you do will ever make mathematical sense, ever. None of it will. None of it, because the business of you doesn't make mathematical sense. So it's definitely not going to make mathematical sense there. Get out of debt and follow the freaking rules. Dave says they were talking about 30, 40,000 from their 401k. At least they did pay off credit card debt, but they've been blowing it ever since. Oh, they're gonna blow it. They're just and they're not. I guarantee you, Dave, they're not even thinking about the taxes that they got to pay on that money either. They're not even thinking about it. You know what they're only thinking? Oh, there's no 10% penalty. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a penalty, all right, because once that comes around, they're not gonna have the money for those taxes, and guess what? They're gonna get penalized. Yellow J says, if your $1,000 emergency fund is in savings or an account that you can get to electronically, you will be tempted to use it when your budget gets blown. Not a real emergency. Oh, yeah, for sure. Dave Sincere says, my best friend's brother, since COVID-19, he's flown to Vegas, LA. Oh, man, just flying all over the place, huh? In a worldwide pandemic, he's flying all over the place. An airplane has enclosed air, circulating air, where everybody shares the same air. All the government CARES Act. I'm gonna just say Kevin Senpai. I'm gonna just say Kevin. All right, LJ, how do you feel about going into debt for an investment, multifamily, blah, 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 after you've become debt free? Is that this? Yes, business debt is different than personal debt. I am not against business debt. Okay, that's totally different. That's tax different. The whole structure is different. Business debt is different than personal debt. So whenever, if you're listening in the background too, I want you guys to make sure if you are in debt and somebody starts mixing, I want you to keen into what they're talking about. If they're trying to pitch you an idea and they're going back and forth between personal debt and business debt, you need to specifically say to them, are you talking about business debt or are you talking about personal debt? That must be specific. But remember this also, if a person's trying to tell you about a business investment or whatever they're trying to tell you about, the first question I want you to ask them, do you have student loan debt? If they have student loan debt, their whole business idea, plan, it makes no mathematical sense. And if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it doesn't make financial sense either. It will never make sense. And they don't even know it don't even make sense. If they try to teach you, hey man, because this is the big thing among slaves. They love to say this, okay? Hey man, do the house hacking. Hey, get a duplex, live in the one side. They all say the same standard thing. Live in one side and have the renter over here pay your. All slaves say that. When you hear somebody say, do this house hacking, do you have your student loans? If they say yes, don't listen to anything else they're saying. None of what they're saying makes any the realty, the house hacking, buy a house, invest, none of it makes sense. Because you'll ask them, okay, you want me to do what? All right, how come you have your student loans for 20 years? Why? If you can make having student loans for 20 years, I'll believe everything you're saying about the house hacking. They will never have an answer. Because they won't even know. They'll say, I don't know. Then how do you know about this? You don't. But if you're debt free, like you said here, I'm just saying, I would talk to Cosmic. I don't know anything about that. I would talk to Andre, talk to Hyphy. I would talk to those guys. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. Cosmic says, if the asset can't do that, I'm not getting it. Nicer says, if we had to take a shot every time LJ shook his head, we all be I'm very animated. I don't know why. It just is. I'm very Yellow J says, it is a different mindset to spend the Benjamins versus swiping. Oh, yeah, it's totally different. It's totally different. Totally different. Any other questions? Good questions? I see 50 people in here, man. Don't be shy. You want to talk to me? There's the link. Hey, you don't even like what I'm saying. Maybe I'm not making any sense. Maybe you want clarification on something. Just don't be shy. If you got real estate questions or any type of investment questions, there are other SMD family members in here to answer your questions, but I don't have any advice on any type of investment outside of yourself. I'm here to help people invest in themselves first, okay? I want you to be able to go out into the business world believing in mathematics, trusting, no, not believing, because mathematics is not a belief, it's a fact. So I want you to go out into the business world trusting mathematics. I don't want you walking around, not even the business. I just don't want you walking around on earth saying stuff that don't make any mathematical sense. I just don't want you to do that, because there are people like me. I'm not the only one that can hear you. We hear debt people. We hear debt people. You guys yip yap about debt and you don't even know what you're saying. And we walk amongst you guys. You guys don't even see us. You guys can't see us. You see me, you just see LJ. Hey, that's LJ. Yeah, okay. Hey, what's up, LJ? You don't know I can see right through you. You say things like, hey, how else am I supposed to get a car if I don't finance it? Only slaves say things like that. How else am I supposed to buy a house if I don't have the money? You can't. Why do you think you can? There's only one way to buy a house. That's cash. There is no other way to buy a house. This is what you got to understand. You slaves in the background that are listening, there is no other way to buy a house. There is no other way. There is no other way. As soon as you start realizing that's not true, then the freer you'll become. Anything other than a mortgage is called financing. It's no different than when you finance a car. It's no different than when you finance a phone. No different than you finance a watch. If you finance the phone, you're not ready for a house. If you finance a watch, you are not ready for a house. You're not ready. Figure out first, before you buy a house, figure out why you need to finance a phone. Figure out why did I need to finance a matching watch with my phone? I don't know. Only you know that. Only you. Any other questions? Any other questions? Evan says, does Cosmic have a YouTube channel or blog or real estate? No, she just, not that I know of. Let me not say no. She's on the Discord server, Evan. She's answering questions over there. Sometimes she comes into the members only and she's answers questions over there. She answers questions here. Right now, she's too busy making money to deal with us peasants. No, she's not like that. I'm joking. That's me. I'm not. That's me saying that. Nobody else. Okay, that's me. All right. Any questions? What's up, Jaws 2003? What's going on, man? You want a question? You can super chat. Go straight to the top. Oh, there's hardly no questions right now anyway. So you can go straight to the top without super chat right now. But we ain't going to be on that much longer. We're going on about an hour and a half now. Okay. So we're 1 hour, 23 minutes in. If there's no more questions, we're going to stop it at 1:30. Okay. Any questions? Hold on. I got to hit this AC because it is getting hot. Hold on. All right, I am back. Any questions? If not, we're going to end this in about 6 minutes. Any questions? What's up, Art Cart? What's going on, man? When you are debt free, you have a sixth sense to see debt people. And you know what's so crazy, Art Cart? It's not even. It does feel like that. Don't get me wrong, it does feel like that, but what it really is that they just don't make mathematical sense and they don't know it. People in debt I didn't know I had a pattern. I didn't know that. I didn't know I was walking around on earth. I did not know there were people like Andre. I didn't know there were people like Hyphy. I did not know there were people like Cosmic walking around on earth while I was speaking debt. I didn't know they existed. I thought I was cool. I thought if they saw my car, they would think I had money. If they saw the neighborhood I lived in, they would think I have money. If they saw the type of job I had or college education I had, I thought they would automatically assume that I have money. None of that is true. I'm going to say this again, slaves, okay? So you guys understand. You guys have a pattern. Your pattern is you don't believe in mathematics, and you don't even know you don't believe in mathematics. Don't even know. Don't even know. Don't even know. Cosmic already put that up there. Great question, Nicer. There's the answer. And what you guys, and those of you guys that are listening, I'm gonna tell you what's happening right now. With this shift right here, this is the companies. This is how big companies are finally gonna get to catch up with Amazon and Uber. They're gonna make all 1099 workers. Everybody that got sent home and was working from home, I know you guys was loving it, right? That's how it's going to be permanently now. Now your job understands that they don't even need a building. They don't even need a building. They can just buy a small little establishment where their main functions run, whatever they need to run. They don't even need a building. You guys will be at home using your own gas, heat, responsibility, food. They don't have to pay for nothing. And then they're going to make you guys 1099 to where you're responsible for all your stuff. It's a whole new world. Welcome. Welcome. Andre says, once you see it, you can't unsee it. That is true. It's a double-edged sword. Once you cross over, you cannot unsee it. You can't just go, oh, never mind. Like when you hear people say, hey, man, this, and I want you guys to understand something so you guys can clearly understand something, okay? Once you get out of debt, you don't accidentally finance a phone again. You don't accidentally finance a car. You know what that really says? That says to me, you was never out of debt in the first place. I will catch the bus before I finance a car. I would never finance a car. Finance a cell phone? That would be financially embarrassing. Even if I didn't even tell you guys that I did it, I'd be embarrassed. I wouldn't even go by the mirror. Put it this way. If I financed a cell phone, I would cover up all the mirrors in my house because I wouldn't want to see my face. I financed a cell phone. I would stop. Hey, L, you financed a cell phone? Oh, I would be so embarrassed. If you guys, listen, slaves, if you have a financed cell phone, you should be financially embarrassed. Especially with a matching watch. We were all taught that by society. Yes. And champ, it must be that way. Slaves, we need you. You guys are number one. We need you. You guys, slaves, you guys have no idea. You guys are the most important part of the whole economy. You guys are the most important part of the economy. This would not work without you. None of this would work without you. We need you. We need you to walk around sleep, living the American dream. We need you to be asleep. None of this is a lie to you. They're telling you to your face, hey, you want to live the American dream? You say, yeah. And then you go finance stuff. They told you from the beginning. You just didn't stop and think about it. You didn't stop and say, hey, wait a minute. When I'm at home, in order for me to dream, I must go in my room and go to sleep. Yes. Yes. That's how you dream. That's how the only way I know how to dream. You must be asleep. So if you're living the American dream, you're asleep. But we need you. Continue to dream. And we will help you dream by creating stuff. Creating stuff to help you continue on dreaming. Black Ralph says, facts. They do need big buildings and a campus. They do not need big buildings. Not anymore. 1099. And let me tell you guys, let me tell you slaves something else. You guys are not even going to hear me anyway. Now that you, check this out. You were living paycheck to paycheck on a W-2. On a W-2, where they do all your taxes and stuff, and you were living paycheck to paycheck. Now, when you go to 1099, you will be getting paid daily. Now you're going to live day to day. And guess what else? And if you're living day to day and you're getting paid and you're responsible for your own taxes and you already believe taxes are the reason why you're poor, guess what? You're not going to pay your taxes. You're not going to pay your taxes. You're not going to pay it. You're not. And guess what? They're going to let you do that for 3 years. First, they're going to let you get away with it for the first year. You're going to be like, cool, they ain't caught me. Then they're going to let you get away with it for 2 years. And then you're going to get real comfortable. And then you're going to adjust your whole life adjust your financial life, making money without paying taxes. So you're going to get a bigger car payment. You're going to get a better place to live because you're not paying taxes. And then when number 3 year comes around, I'm not saying for sure because they got all the time in the world, because you're just going to keep digging yourself deeper. After 2 years, you're so deep you can't get out anyway. It doesn't matter anyway. You're already deep. So you're going to just keep going until they get that knock on the door. Hey, who is it? It's the IRS. What are you doing here? You'll know once you open the door. I'm not opening the door. Okay. We sent you some letters. Did you ignore them? Yeah. Oh, okay. Hey, you owe us money. I ain't paying you shit. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. You guys coming back? We won't be back. We won't be back. Don't worry about it. We don't make house calls twice. Okay, see you later. Then they're going to drive off in the car and you're going to think you got away with it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Gabriel says, when I was a kid, I always got A+ on math, but failed in every other subject. Me too. Well, I didn't fail in every other subject, but math was my favorite subject. I remember when I was a kid, I went to algebra, and I was good at algebra, right? But I used to always say to myself, when am I going to use this in the real world? When am I going to add something up in the real world and it's going to equal X or it's going to equal Y? Where's that? When's that? When am I ever going to use that? Never. You're never going to use it ever. You're not. Don't even need it. Don't even need it. It's just a time. That's just a time filler. Cosmic says, LJ, so true, LJ. 30-year mortgages in the U.S. are relatively new. They didn't exist before 1971 just to create more slaves. Hey, and you know what, Cosmic? I found out that they got 40 and 50-year mortgages now. 40 and 50-year mortgages. If you thought, okay, you slaves don't even know FHA mortgages. FHA mortgages are for slaves. I want you guys to understand that. FHA mortgages are for slaves. Only slaves sign up for FHA mortgages. Only slaves do that. They be kicking you guys when you're down, man. You slaves, they be kicking you guys when you're down. Scratching your phone up, scratching your watch up. You're like, hey, why are you kicking me while I'm down, man? You scratched up my phone and my watch. And they're going to say, don't you got insurance? Of course you're going to say, yeah, I got insurance on it. Yeah, then use it, slave. but they're not really doing anything to you. You're doing it to yourself. They're taking advantage of you not trusting mathematics. That's all they're doing. They're not doing anything special. The banks are not smarter than you. They've just been at it. They've just trusted math for generations. That's it. Nothing else. Let's see. Kevin says, I thought I was good at math until I got out of debt. Right. Now I'm amazing at math. I tried to unsee it, but actually made myself nauseous. I've been called an alien once in a while. See what I'm saying? Welcome. One day, Kevin, you're going to be a proud alien. When they call me alien, I say, yes. Yeah, what about it? You can see it. Yeah, I am. I'm an alien. Oh, you think you're all that alien? Yeah, that's me. That's me. Yeah, I'm an alien for sure. Quintus says, the only reason why Apple and Samsung have crazy ass prices when it comes to phone and watches because they know 85% of people will finance them. Yes. They have, check this out. They have to finance it. You know why? Because money doesn't exist for slaves. Slaves. Money doesn't exist for you. Yep. That's why you're financing that watch, because you're a slave. You have no money. That's why you believe it takes 30 years to pay off one house, because you're a slave. Only slaves believe that. 30 years of your life to pay off one house? No. Only slaves believe that. Slaves. Yep, 40-year mortgages are about 10 years old on the scene. Wow. So just imagine this, Cosmic. Imagine somebody signing up for a 40-year, 50-year mortgage and then running around telling their friends that they're homeowners. They just slap you in your face, and they just slap you slaves in the face, and you don't even know where it came. What happened? Who did that? Who did that? Nobody, slave. Don't worry about it. Oh, it sounds like Gabriel's about to go get him one. So Gabriel, if you get one now, because you're 1920, you'll have it paid off when you're 70. E-Man says, yeah, when you're paying extra on things, you finance. When you pay extra on things you finance, you'll start to wonder why I pay this much. Yep. Oops. Dave says, you're speaking the truth. I've seen where IRS have sent letters to employers to lock their withholdings at zero dependence if they consistently owe. Wow, due to them changing their dependence. And they think, so funny, they think that it has something to do with dependence, like their kids. That don't even have nothing to do with that. They will lock people W-4s to the point to where they have to send a letter to the IRS if they want to change. Wow. I've never heard of that. That is crazy. And you know what's so crazy too? I want to, you know what's so crazy? It's like, I remember I had a job, right? And I used to go to my, the W-4, right? That box on the W-4 says, exclude me from tax withholdings, right? I used to always say to myself, now I never checked that box because I knew not paying taxes was illegal. So I was like, oh, I'm never going to, but I used to always wonder to myself, why is that box there? Why is it now? Now I know there's a legal reason for it. Okay. There's something there that I just don't know, but it's so easily accessible. You just check the box and say, okay. Now this is my opinion. Okay. This is just my opinion. That's a trap for slaves. If slaves already believe that taxes are the very reason why they're in tax, or why they're broke or poor or whatever they think, they're going to check that box. And then again, they're going to get away with it for a year, and they're going to think they're scot-free. Hey, nobody came to me. They didn't say anything. Okay, cool. Then they go another year. Nobody said anything. No. Okay. All right, cool. Then 3, maybe 4, 5. but you're going to get that knock on the door. And guess what? You're not, if you check that box and you're in debt, you're not going to have 5 years worth of taxes. You're not. Now you're going to be a slave. Check this out. While you're in debt right now, by just without the IRS, right? Without that, right? You're a slave to yourself. But if you don't pay your taxes, now you're a slave to the IRS. The worst slave master to have. That's the worst. You don't want that one. You don't want that one. You don't want that one. That's the one you want. The only entity that is above student loan debt is the IRS debt. That's the one you do not want. You don't want that. So say like this. You know how you can have $50,000 in student loan debt? You could pay that your entire life and not a problem. You can't owe $50,000 to the IRS your entire life. You can't do that. I mean, you don't want to do that, but you don't want to do that. New t-shirt idea, ATA, all that alien. That would have people ask a lot of questions. All that alien. No, I'm not going to explain it to you, slave. Gary says, could someone in their 40s start a career in criminal justice in your opinion? Yes. I suggest being debt-free always first, though, so you can have your full concentration. Anybody can do anything. Don't let age restrict you from anything. Unless you're dead, that's the only time. Don't ever put limits on yourself, ever. Dave says, years ago, I heard they have lifetime mortgages in California. Oh, God. Lord says, so never finance depreciating objects. Never finance anything that goes down in value, anything. If you never finance anything that goes down in value, you will always have money. Always. Okay? Number one rule, don't ever finance anything that goes down in value. Now, a house is the only exception to me that I would finance, right? But if you don't have debt, it won't take you 30 years to pay off the house. There's different ways to pay off the house fast. Oh, excuse me. Any questions? Any questions? Now, if you need some services, all right, you can email me right there. And if you need a consultation, I will email you an invoice and then we'll set up a date and time and then we'll talk. Okay. Here's my Cash App. All right. You can pay me via invoice. You can pay me Cash App. Totally up to you. If you don't have a PayPal, we'll figure out something else So, I see you, Gabriel. All right. Hold up. What's up? Hello? Oh, wait a minute. No, that's I think that's Hive. Hive used that picture before. Let's see. Any other questions? Any questions? All right, we're 145, almost 145 in. We'll go 15 more minutes and get out of here at 2 o'clock. I really want this to keep going. I really do. Hello.
Nah, it ain't Gabriel. Walk one.
I know. I saw the picture. I said, that's hyphy.
All right, big ups.
What's going on, man?
All right, so yeah, I want to ask a question myself. Maybe you can help me understand, because maybe it's a team that I'm missing. What is it that's so attractive about debt that makes people just continue to be attracted to it? Tell me the team.
That's a good question.
And the reason we ask, because even around this team, I've been seeing a few men who have been out of debt, and they literally purposely put themselves back in.
Hyphy, I honestly, my version on that. Well, let me answer the first question first. I just think you and I know it's just conditioning, right? We've just been conditioned. The economy runs on debt. They must, and society has been been structured in a way to where you ain't nobody if you don't have stuff. All right. You just nobody, right? They just don't believe in math. And they're choosing it.
And see, that's a crazy thing, you know, because see, you know, these men, and they were able to somehow, some way calculate the math to get out of debt. So it's like they understand the math.
Right.
So I'm just trying to figure out what is it that's so good that made them.
You know, I think when we saw the few people that have done that, right? I don't think they were ever out of debt, because that wouldn't happen. I just think, I mean, what out there right now, Hyphy, can convince you to go finance a car right now? What could convince you?
Ah, boy, forget a car. You can't even get a man like Hyphy to go finance no shoes right now.
Right. I don't picture Hyphy coming on saying, hey, man, I saw this awesome deal as I drove by. I just had to finance this car. I just don't see that happening.
Nah. You know, that ain't from, you know, men's like Hyphy. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just show y'all local example of how, you know, debt free men. This how we live when you're debt free. All right, now you see when you're debt free and you got a choice to live how you want to. You see these shoes talking. These shoes are talking. Guess what? I went running miles in these shoes this morning. I'm about to wash my car in these shoes. That's by choice. That's how you give it up when you're debt free. You wear stuff like that by choice.
You know what people in debt are gonna say? Oh man, I ain't gonna live like that just to be debt free. I ain't gonna do that.
Boy, nah, it's just a different type thing.
That is funny. God damn. You got your money's worth out of them bad boys.
In it 3 times forward, in it. You know, and then, you know, even I could learn from women like Cosmic. I mean, you see when she pulling up, you're not thinking that's the real estate investor. You're thinking it's the woman that's trying to rent the thing.
Exactly. Or she's the manager or something. You know what I'm saying? She's not the owner. Yeah.
So yeah, but I just can't, you know, grasp what is it about these type of people that would just make them want to go back into the debt team.
I don't know, man. To me, it just shows how powerful it is. That's all. That's powerful.
Cause me seeing earlier in the chat, you know, men said something about, oh, you know, he just has a problem with, you know, savings. Every time he gets some money, he just, you know, dish it out. And, you know, at least to most of us in the chat, we'll say, hey, boy, look, the things that you're spending your pee on, that's what's more important than having a savings. Whatever it is that you spend that money on, hey, that's more valuable than you having a savings. That shows how much you really want to have a savings.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That just says. I think if people realized, if they realized they are literally slaves, that would not happen. You know, they wouldn't say, hey, if I finance this car, it's okay for me to be a slave for another 5 years. That just wouldn't happen. You know? See, I mean, it's almost like comparing it to a drug. You know the thing is bad for you, but you just keep running back to chase that bill, isn't it? It is. I mean, think about it, Hype. That's probably one of the most powerful drugs on earth.
Isn't it?
It's probably more powerful than heroin, cocaine, all that. Because it's something you can't see.
And see, it keeps even chasing people. It don't just pick its targets. Because you see, you know, Johnny Blaze come on. Men like Johnny Blaze said he was in the store and almost bought, you know, some type of computer or tablet.
Yeah, he said tablet, Microsoft tablet.
Seeing, and you got to have, you know, for him to be able to accomplish where he is, you got to have some type of knowledge. You ain't doing this on accident.
Right.
So it almost even grabbed him for a second.
Right. All right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. And he was going to pay for it cash. And he had a discussion with himself to say, oh, no, I don't need it. I'm just going to buy it for just because. Oh, okay. I don't need it. All right. Later, you know?
See, so that is just a crazy thing to me. I just don't understand the team.
I think it's
And
amazing.
then hey, I mean, hopefully, I guess I got some type of inner voice that just keeps me away from having them type of thoughts. Lucky me, I
Do
guess.
you even have them? Do you even have? I don't have them, Ivy. Do you have them?
Nah. See, that's the thing. I don't even have them.
Right.
And I don't know. Like, maybe waking up and being proud of shoes that literally talk to you. Maybe that helps. Maybe that's what I need to keep me in check.
Oh, that is funny. Somebody see you with those shoes on, they be like, "Oh, he's broke. Look at his shoes. He's got to be broke."
Seeing. Well, it's just I guess like an extra layer of protection. It might keep people from bugging me, wanting to borrow, money and things.
Yeah, they see holes in your shoes. You're right. They ain't gonna ask you to borrow no money. You ain't lying. They ain't gonna ask you. They sure ain't gonna ask you that. That is funny.
And it's it's just crazy because me here earlier, talking about finance, cell phone, and thing, and I'm like, the man said something about his old phone broke, so he went to go grab a new one.
Right.
And I'm like, like right now I'm chatting with you off a 2012 phone. So I'm like, what? Walk on here. What we doing? You don't need to go get them new things, but hey, to each his own.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, regarding yesterday, not to go into the stream, but yesterday in the members only, it was about what are people doing in 2020? What do you have going on? Things that you're getting into, future goals, things of them nature, and just for people who weren't there or didn't have an answer, signing up for the members only to better yourself financially, that's something that you're doing in 2020.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want all of them to keep that in mind. That's what you're doing by being involved in the SMD and really applying the effort to better yourself financially. That's what you're doing in 2020.
Yeah, and you want the real answers. You want the straightforward answers. All the SMD family members are in there. We'll give you the straight answers that you need, not to make you feel good, to help you be successful, for sure.
Seeing. So yeah, that's all I have for today.
All right, man.
Was trying to get some type of understanding, but yeah, I'm hop in the chat. Big ups yourself. Big ups.
All right, man. I appreciate you, Hyphy, man. You know I do, man.
Move out.
All right, man. Let's see what we got here. Dave says, people like buying things even when they don't have the money. I remember some years ago, if I was bored, I would be looking for ways to spend money on stuff I didn't need just because I was restless. Exactly. It's a psychological thing, really. Since the tax laws definitely have changed. Since I started a new business 4 years ago, I've been getting the max returns I've ever gotten in life. Oh yeah, the tax system work. The new tax system favors the business owner right now. That's why they're loving sending people home in 1099. They got to be loving that. All my tenants think I'm the cleaning lady when I roll. I know you said, Heike, you said you got that broom in the back, so that's why they probably think you're the cleaning lady. But then they'd be like, damn, she's here to clean a whole house and all she got is a broom? All right, she ain't that very good. She must not be that good. Nicer says, I'd rather have holes in my shoes than holes in my decision making. Exactly. Perfectly said, Nicer. All right, we got about 8 more minutes. 8 more minutes, you guys. 8 more minutes. I see a lot of people come in, but they are shy as I don't know what to get online. I don't know why, but they love watching. And don't get me wrong, I'm not. If you guys like watching in the background and not talking, I know you're there because you guys email me, and that's cool. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying you might as well come and get some free advice. Today's the day to get free advice. You can join the Discord server. There's free advice up in there. Sometimes I'm in there, sometimes I'm not. But I pop in every now and then, and it's a good way to communicate. It's a good way to get notification of videos about to come online, blah, blah, blah. And again, don't forget tomorrow, I'm going to be on Ramil's show, 10 a.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Eastern, okay? SOBC, what's going on? Just went to bike shop this afternoon. Saw a used carbon bike for $2,500. I almost got it, but the bank account didn't let me. The bank account didn't let me. The bank account was like, "Oh, that's a nice bike. Well, we can't get it." Yeah, the bank account was probably like, "Why are we even in this bank? Why are we even in this bike shop?" Hey, I'm gonna wait in the car. That's what the bank account saying. I'm gonna wait in the car and let me know when you come out, because I know you ain't getting anything. So it's a waste of my time to even come in the shop. Where's your money? You get up to the register with the bike. Okay, how you gonna pay for this? Bank account. Bank accounts in the car on his iPhone. Yellow J says, I have a soccer boot graveyard. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. I would buy a pair. Oh, a soccer boot graveyard guy. I would buy a pair every season. Had to have the flashiest, highest price cleats. They made me so much a better player. Not. I think that's everybody. Everybody wants to do that. Have the best shoes, thinking somehow they're going to be better. Evan says, will you do a video on doing taxes while debt free? I don't. That'd really be stepping in the tax area, and I don't want to be touching that really. I just teach you guys the basics: 401k, HSA. All I say like this. This is what I say: get out of debt first. Once you're out of debt, I'm the one that will teach you how to pick the right tax person, right? So once you're out of debt, you're going to pick a tax person that's not in debt, okay? Or you'll pick a reputable tax firm, okay? So I don't really want to I don't want people to confuse me that I'm a tax person, some kind of investment guru, some type of financial advisor. I'm the person you see before you go see the financial advisor, before you go see the tax person, before you go see the CPA. You come see me first. I will teach you how to pick the right person in those areas, okay? Dave says, if you've been in debt most of your life, once you become debt free, your attitude and your emotional attachment to money will change. It will for sure. It will be hard to scent for your emotions to get the best of, okay. SOBC says, I would have put it on my credit card 5 years ago. I sure would have. I would have did the same thing. Best of you to spend and go into debt again. What's Hype saying? I'm still on the 2012 Turner burner with, oh, talking about bicycles. See, I need to get a bike though. I do. Once you're out of debt, you'll have the mental bandwidth to learn other things. You'll think of other ways to learn about money and make money and save money for sure. All right, you guys, we got about 3 minutes and we're going to get this cut off here. Thank you everybody for participating. Very much so. I appreciate you all. Today is Sunday. Tomorrow, again, don't forget to catch me on Ramil's show tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. All right, let me put this link in here to his channel one more time. And I will put this also inside of the community area of the YouTube channel. Okay. There you go. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Okay. Don't forget, you can jump on the Discord server. Thank you, Heidi, for throwing that in there. There's the link to the Discord server. Okay. And the link that I just posted, that is to Ramil's channel. Here's my Cash App. Here is my email address if you want to schedule a consultation. Okay. There you go. Thank you, everyone, for participating today. You guys, I hope you guys all have a wonderful Sunday. It is a beautiful day outside, but it's extremely hot. I don't know how. I usually have to get up in the mornings. All right. You guys have a wonderful Sunday. Okay. Thank you all. See you later.